Spencer Review. Prisoner of the House of Windsor. Kristen Stewart stars as an anguished, rebellious Princess Diana in Pablo Larraín's Answer to the Crown. By A.O. Scott. Spencer is a Christmas movie in which a big, dysfunctional family gathers at the holiday to feast, exchange gifts, and engage in peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun. Spencer is a horror movie about a fragile woman held captive in a spooky mansion, tormented by sadistic monsters and their treacherous minions. Spencer is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian cabal conspiring to crush the spirit of an independent-minded rebel. Spencer is a love story, a melodrama of maternal devotion, an early 90s fashion parade, and a very British baking show. The scones and pastries are organic. Spencer, described by its director, Pablo Larraín, as a fable from a true tragedy, is all of the above, and is also a fact-inspired drama about Diana, Princess of Wales, played with grit and grace by Kristen Stewart. Diana, who died in a car crash in 1997, and whose maiden name gives Larraín's film its title, is hardly an obscure figure, a global celebrity and tabloid fixture in her lifetime. She remains, somehow, irresistible.
Spencer Review.
Prisoner of the
House Sponsor.
Kristen Stewart stars as an anguished, rebellious Princess Diana in Pablo Larraín's Answer to the Crown. By A.O. Scott. Spencer
is a Christmas movie in which a big, dysfunctional family gets a holiday, exchange gifts, and engage in peculiar tradition meant to provide a bit of fun.
Spencer
is a horror movie about a fragile woman held captive, tormented by sadistic monsters and treacherous minions.
Spencer
is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian conspiring to crush the spirit of an independent-minded rival.
Spencer
is a love story, a melodrama of maternal devotion, early 90s fashion, and a very British baking show. The scones and pastries are organic.
Spencer,
described by script Pablo Larraín as a fable mature tragedy, is all of the above. It's also a effective spy drama about Diana, the South Wales, great and Christ story. Diana, dying in a car crash in 1997, is the main name of Arian's film's title. It's hardly an obscure film, a global tabloid fixture in lifetime. She remains somehow exist. Spencer Review. Prisoner of the House Mouse.
Kristen Stewart stars anguished, rebellious Princess Diana in Pablo Larraín's
Answer to the Crown.
By
A.O. Scott.
Spencer
is a Christmas review in which a big, dysfunctional family gathers this holiday to feast, exchange gifts, and engage in peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun.
Spencer
is a horror movie of a fragile woman held captive in mansion, tormented by sadistic monsters and treacherous minions.
Spencer
is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian cabal conspiring to crush the spirit of an independent-minded rival.
Spencer
is a love story, a melodrama of the devotion, early 90s fashion rave at a very British baking show.
The scones and
pastries organic.
Spencer,
described by Pablo Larraín as a fable to mature tragedy, is all of the above, but it also effective Bible drama about Diana, Princess of Wales, played with great Christian story. Diana, dying in a car crash in 1997, the maiden name is Larraín's film's title. It's hardly an obscure figure, a global celebrity, a tabloid fixture in lifetime. She remains somehow exist. Spencer Review. Prisoner of the House Sponsor.
Kristen Stewart stars rebellious Princess Diana in Pablo Larraín's
Answer to the Crown.
By A.O. Scott.
Spencer is a Christmas movie in which a big, dysfunctional family gathers to holiday to feast, exchange gifts, and engaging peculiar traditions, and to provide objectify. Spencer is a horror model of a fragile woman, not captive with a master, tormented by sadistic monsters and the treacherous medias. Spencer is a psychological tool by the powerful, unaccountable authoritarian cabal, inspiring the crash the spirit, the independent mind rope. Spencer is a love story, melodrama of eternal devotion, an early 90s fashion career, and a very British meeting show. Its score's history is organic. Spencer, described by popularity as a feeble, mature tragedy, is all of the above. It's also effective in spy drama or Diana. The Wheels, played with the greatest grace by Cretan Stew. Diana died in a car crash in 1997, and its main name gives out the film's title. And a figure, a global celebrity, popular fixture in her lifetime. She remains irresistible. Spencer Review. Prisoner of the House gathers the holiday to feast, exchange gifts, and engage in the peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun. Spencer is a horror movie about a fragile woman not captive, tormented by sadistic monsters and treacherous events. Spencer is a psychological thriller by a powerful, unaccountable oriental ball, inspiring the creation's independent mind rebel. Spencer is a love story, a melodrama of eternal integration, a very British baking show. The scones and history organic. Spencer, described by popularity as a feeble tragedy, is all of the above. It's also effective Bible drama about Diana, Princess Wales, played with the great grace by Cretan Story. Diana dying in a car crash in 1997. It was named already the film's title. Is hardly obscure figure, a global celebrity in popular fiction's lifetime. She remains, somehow he would exist.
Spent in which a
Bookie Mansion, tormented by sadistic monsters and the treacherous ways. Spencer is a psychological thriller, but a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian above, conspiring to crush the spirit, independent mind rival. Spencer is a love story, a melodrama of eternal devotion, and an early 90s fashion opera, a British baker show. This goes a history organic. Spencer is described by popularity as a feeble, mature tragedy, is all of the above. It is also effective in spy drama of Diana, Princess Wales, praised by Cretan Story. Diana was died in a car crash. Its Lawrence film's title is hardly obscure figure, a global celebrity in popular fictions and lifetime. She remains, somehow he would exist. Spencer Review. Prisoner of the House of Winds. Kristen Stewart stars anguished rebellious Princess Diana in popular hire Answer to the Ground by A.O. Skelton. Spencer is a Christmas movie in which big, dysfunctional family gets holiday feast, exchange gifts, and engage in peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of life. Spencer is a horror movie about a fragile woman of captive magic, tormented by sadistic monsters and treacherous minions. Spencer is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian cabal, conspiring to crush the spirits and independent mind rival. Spencer is a love story, a melodrama of the alternative and early 90s fashions, and a very British baking show. Its scones pastries organic. Spencer is described by popularity as a feeble for mature tragedy, is all of the above. It's also effective in spy drama by Diana, Princess Wales, played with by Cretan Story. Diana died in the car crash in 1997. It means is honoring the film's title. It's hardly figure. A global stereotype features now. She remains, somehow exist. Prisoner of the House of Windsor.
Kristen Stewart
stars anguished rebellious Diana, and Pablo Larry's added to the crown
by A.O.
Scott.
Spencer is a
Christmas movie makes a big dysfunctional family gathers hot feast, exchange gifts, and engage the peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun.
Spencer
is a horror movie, but for a movie, not captivating, tormented by these monsters in the tragedy dimensions.
Spencer
is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian boss conspiring to crush the experience of an independent minor rival.
Spencer
is a love story, melodrama of
the
eternal devotion, an early 19th fashion work, very British baking show.
The scones and pastries are
Scones, pastries are organic.
Spencer
described by its director Pavel Larry as a fable from a church tragedy, is all of the above. It's also a fact-inspired drama about Diana and Swills, played with great effect by Curtis Stone. Diana died in a car crash in 1997. It was named as a fatal title. It's hardly an obscure figure, a global celebrity in public pictures in a lifetime. She remains somehow the resist. Spencer, review Prisoner of the House of Windsor. Kristen Stewart stars as an anguished, rebellious Princess Diana in Paula Larry's Answer to the Crown by A.O. Scott. Spencer is a Christmas movie in which a big dysfunctional family gathers at a holiday to feast, exchange gifts, and engage in peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun. Spencer is a horror movie about a fragile woman held captive in a smoky mansion, tormented by sadistic monsters at their teacher's manners. Spencer is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian cabal conspiring to crush the spirits of an independent-minded rebel. Spencer is a love story, a melodrama of maternal devotion, an early 90s fashion parade at a very British baking show. The scones and pastries are organic. Spencer, described by its director, Paula Larry, as a fable from a true tragedy, is all of the above, and also a fact-inspired drama about Diana, Princess of Wales, played at Grace by Kristen Stewart. Diana, who died in a car crash in 1997, and whose maiden name gives Larry's film its title, is hardly an obscure figure. A global celebrity and a channel fixture in her lifetime, she remains somehow irresistible. Spencer review. Prisoner of the House of Windsor. Kristen Stewart stars an anguished, rebellious Princess Diana in Paula Larry's Answer to the Crown by A.O. Scott. Spencer is a Christmas movie in which a big, dysfunctional family gathers at a holiday to feast, exchange gifts, and engage in peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun. Spencer is a horror movie about a fragile woman held captive in a spooky mansion, tormented by sadistic monsters and treacherous men. Spencer is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian cabal conspiring to crush the spirit of an independent mind rival. Spencer is a love story, a melodrama of maternal devotion, an early 90s fashion parade, and a very British baking show. The scones and pastries are organic. Spencer, described by this popularity as a fable from a mature tragedy, is all of the above, and also a fact-inspired drama about Diana, Princess, played with great grace by Kristen Stewart. Diana, who died in a car crash in 1997, and whose main name gives Laurie's film its title, is hardly an obscure figure. A global celebrity and television feature in her lifetime, she remains somehow irresistible. Played. A global celebrity.
Spencer
Review, Prisoner of the House of Windsor. Kristen Stewart stars an anguished, rebellious Princess Diana in Pablo Larraín's Answer to the Crown by A.O. Scott. Spencer is a Christmas movie in which a big, dysfunctional family gathers at a holiday to feast, exchange gifts, and engage in peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun. Spencer is a horror movie about a fragile woman held captive in a spooky mansion, tormented by sadistic monsters and their treacherous menace. Spencer is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian cabal conspiring to crush the spirits of an independent mind rebel. Spencer is a love story, a melodrama of maternal devotion, an early 90s fashion parade, and a very British baking show. The scones and pastries are organic. Spencer, described by its director Pablo Larraín as a fable from the true tragedy, is all of the above, and also a fact-inspired drama about Diana, Princess of Wales, played with great grace by Kristen Stewart. Diana, who died in a car crash in 1997, and whose main name gives Larry Films its title, is hardly an obscure figure, a global celebrity and television fixture in her lifetime. She remains somehow irresistible. Spencer Review, Prisoner of the House. Kristen Stewart's anguished, rebellious Diana in Pablo Larraín's Answer to the Crown by A.O. Scott. Spencer is a Christmas movie in which a big, dysfunctional family gathers at a holiday to feast, exchange gifts, and engage in peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun. Spencer is a horror movie, a bright fragile movie, not captives, tormented by sadistic monsters and their treacherous minions. Spencer is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian cabal and the psychological spirits of an independent mind rival. Spencer is a love story, a melodrama of maternal devotion, an early 1950s parade, and a very British baking show. A scones pastry organic. Spencer, described by Pablo Larraín as a fable to mature tragedy, is all above. It's also a fact-inspired drama by Princess of Wales, played with great grace by Stewart. Diana, who died in a car crash in 1997, whose main name is Laurie's title, is hardly an obscure figure, a global celebrity in television feature in the lifetime. She remains somehow irresistible. Spencer Review, Prisoner of the House of Windsor. Kristen Stewart stars as an anguished, rebellious Princess Diana in Pablo Larraín's Answer to the Crown by A.O. Scott. Spencer is a Christmas movie in which a big, dysfunctional family gathers at a holiday to feast, exchange gifts, and engage in peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun. Spencer is a horror movie about a fragile woman held captive in a spooky mansion, tormented by sadistic monsters and their treacherous minions. Spencer is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian cabal conspiring to crush in the spirits of an independent minor rebel. Spencer is a love story, a melodrama of maternal devotion, an early 90s fashion parade, and a very British baking show. The scones and portraits are organic. Spencer, described by its director, Portable Larry, as a fable from a true tragedy, is all of the above, and also a fact-inspired drama about Diana, Princess of Wales, played with grit and grace by Kristen Stewart. Diana, who died in a car crash in 1997, and whose maiden name gives Larriton Films its title, in hardly an obscure figure, a globe celebrity and a public fixture in her lifetime. She remains somehow irresistible. Spencer Review, Prisoner of the House of Windsor. Kristen Stewart star as an anguished, rebellious Princess Diana in Paulo Larry's Answer to the Crown by A.O. Scott. Spencer is a Christmas movie in which a big, dysfunctional family gathers. At the hot family gathers at a holiday to feast, exchange gifts, and engage in the peculiar traditions meant to provide a function a bit of fun. Spencer is a horror movie about a fragile woman held captive in a spooky mansion, tormented by sadistic monsters and treacherous minions. Spencer is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian cabal conspires to crush the spirits of an independent minor rebel. Spencer is a love story, a melodrama of mental devotion, an early 90s fashion parade, and a very British baking show. The scones and pastries are organic. Spencer describes as its director, Paulo Larry, as a fun fable from a true tragedy, is all of the above, and also a fact-inspired drama by Diana, Princess of Wales, played with grit and grace of Kristen Stewart, Diana, who died in a car crash in 1997, and whose maiden name gives Larry Films its title, is hardly an obscure figure, a global celebrity and a top-late fixture in her lifetime. She remains somehow irresistible. 1800。
Guns,
Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jerry Dye. Prologue. Yali's question.
We all know that history has proceeded
very different for people of different parts of the globe. In the 13,000 years since the end of the Ice Age, some parts of the world developed creative and industries in metal tools. Other parts developed only non-farming societies, and still others retain society that hunter-gatherers of stone tools. Those historical chronicles have cast long shadows in the modern world, because the literate societies with metal tools have conquered or exterminated the other societies. Although these differences constitute the most basic fact of the world history, the reasons for them remain uncertain and controversial. This puzzling question, their origins, posed to me 25 years ago, the simple crystal forms. In July 1972, I was walking along the beach of the tropical island Giving, or as a biologist that studied bird evolution. I already heard about the remarkable local politicians and Yali, who was touring
by chance.
Yali and I walking at the same door on that day, and he overtook me. We walked together for an hour, talking to the whole time. Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jerry Dye. Prologue. Yali's question. We all know that history proceeded very differently for peoples from different parts of the globe. In the 13,000 years at the end of the last state, some parts of the world developed creative and industries with metal tools. Other parts developed only non-literate fast societies, and still others retain societies of hunter-gatherers steel tools. Those historical qualities have cast long shadows on the modern world, because the literate society with metal tools have conquered and exterminated the other societies. Although the differences constitute the most basic fact of the world history, the reasons for them remain uncertain and controversial. This puzzling question, the origins, are supposed to be 25 years ago, the simple crystal form.
In July
1970, I was walking along a beach in the tropical island New Guinea, where as a biologist study. I already heard about the remarkable local politician named Yali, who was touring by chance. Yali and I were walking in the same direction on that day, and he overtook me. We walked together for an hour, talking during the whole time. Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jared Diamond. Prologue. Yali's question. We all know that history has proceeded very differently for peoples from different parts of the globe. In the 19,000 years since the end of the last ice age, some parts of the world developed literate industrial societies with metal tools. Other parts developed only non-literate farming societies, and still others retained societies of hunter-gatherers with stone tools. Those historical inequalities have cast long shadows on the modern world, because the literate societies with metal tools have conquered or exterminated the other societies. While the differences constitute the most basic fact of the world history, the reasons for them remain uncertain and controversial. This puzzling question of their origins was posed to me 25 years ago in a simple personal form. In July 1972, I was walking along a beach on the tropical island of New Guinea, where as a biologist I studied bird evolution. I had already heard about a remarkable local politician named Yale, who was touring the district then. By chance, Yale and I were walking in the same direction on that day, and he overtook me. We walked together for an hour, talking during the whole time. Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jerry Diamond. Prologue. Yale's question. We all know that history has proceeded very differently for people from different parts of the globe. In the 13,000 years since the end of the last ice age, some parts of the world developed literary society with metal tools. Other parts developed only non-literate farming societies, and still others retained societies of hunter-gatherers with stone tools. Those historical inequalities have cast long shadows on the modern world, because the literate society with metal tools have conquered or exterminated the other societies. While those constitute the most basic fact of world history, the reasons for them remain uncertain and controversial. This puzzling question of their origins was posed to me 25 years ago in simple personal form. In July 1972, I was walking along a beach on the tropical island of New Guinea, where as a biologist I studied bird evolution. I had already heard about a remarkable local politician named Yale, who was touring district then. By chance, Yale and I were walking in the same direction on that day, and he overtook me. We walked together for an hour, talking during the whole time. Guns, Germs, and Steel by Derek Diamond. Prologue. Yale's question. We all know that history has proceeded very different from peoples from different parts of the globe. In 13,000 since the end of the last ice age, some parts of the world developed created an industry started with metal tools. Other parts developed only non-literate farm societies, and still others retained societies of hunter-gatherers with stone tools. Those historical qualities have cast long shadows on the modern world, because the literate society with metal tools have conquered or exterminated the other societies. Although these differences constitute the most basic world history, the reasons for them remain uncertain and controversial. This puzzling question to their origin was posed to me 25 years ago with a simple personal form. In July 1972, I was walking along a beach in the tropical island New Guinea, where as a biologist I already heard about a remarkable local politician named Yale, who was touring district then. Yale and I were walking in the same direction that day, and he overtook me. We walked together for an hour, talking during the whole time. It's never too late to climb that mountain. DJ Wallenit, a song, Alice is one of the world's primates. Ascended Yosemite's capital to celebrate her 70th birthday by Tim Neville. In her 40s, DJ Wallenit taught swing. In her 50s, she took up running. Then, at 60, she became a rock line. And not just any rock. 4 years ago, at 66, Miss Wallen made a record-breaking ascent of Bill Captain, Yosemite National Monolith that has some of the longest, most challenging rock climbing routes in the world, and she did it in style. The route stacked them, looking fear, typically takes 4 days to complete. As Wallen did it in one.
Of course,
it helped that the author and the non-sponsored athlete had one of the most accomplished rock climbers in the world to guide her. Her famous son, Alex Honnold, the star of the 2018 Oscar-winning documentary Free Solo. The film chronicles her son's breathtaking journey to become the first one to climb all equipment whatsoever. Her video was by far the most demanding she ever done, as Warnock said. Reaching the summit of the Capitan in 2017, she became the oldest woman to make that ascent.
It's never too
late to climb that mountain. Deidre Wallen, whose son, Alex Honnold, is one of the top climbers, ascended Yosemite at the Capitan to celebrate her 70th birthday by Tim Neville. In her 40s, Wallen taught herself to swim. In her 50s, took up running. Then, at 60, she became rock climber, and not just anyone. 4 years ago, at 66, the Wallen made a record-breaking ascent of Capitan Yosemite National Park granite monolith. They are some of the longest climbing routes in the world. She did it in style. The route tackled then, looking fear, took 4 days to complete. As Warnock is dated in one. Of course, the author and non-sponsored athlete had one of the most accomplished rock climbers in the world to guide her. Her famous son, Alex Honnold, the star of the 2018 Oscar-winning documentary Free Solo. The film chronicles her son's breathtaking journey to become the first person to climb with no rope or safety equipment whatsoever. The rope effort was by far the most running the Waller said.
Reaching the summit of El
Capitan in 2017,
she became the oldest
woman to make that ascent. It's never too late to climb that mountain. Deidre Wallen, whose son Alex Honnold is one of the world's top rock climbers, ascended Yosemite's AR Capitan to celebrate her 70th birthday. By Tim Neville. In her 40s, Deidre Wallen taught herself to swim. In her 50s, she took up running. Then at 60, she became a rock climber, and not just any rock climber. 4 years ago, at 66, Mrs. Wallen made a record-breaking ascent up AR Capitan, Yosemite National Park's granite monolith that has some of the longest, most challenging rock climber routes in the world, and she did it in style. The route she tackled then, looking fear, typically takes 4 days to complete. Mrs. Wallen did it in one. Of course, it helped that the author and non-sponsored athlete had one of the most accomplished rock climbers in the world to guide her. Her famous son, Alex Honnold, the star of the 2018 Oscar-winning documentary Free Solo. The film chronicles her son's breathtaking journey to become the first person to climb AR Cap with no rope or safety equipment whatsoever. Her own effort, which did use ropes, was by far the most demanding thing she had ever done, Miss Wallen said. Reaching the summit of AR Capitan in 2017, she became the oldest woman to make that ascent. It's never too late to climb that mountain. Deidre Wallen, whose son Alex Honnold is one of the world's top rock climbers, ascended Yosemite's AR Capitan to celebrate her 70th birthday by Tim Neville. In her 40s, Deidre Wallen taught herself to swim. In her 50s, she took up running. Then at 60, she became a rock climber, and not just any rock climber. 4 years ago, at 66, Mrs. Wallen made a record-breaking ascent up AR Capitan, Yosemite National Park's granite monolith that has some of the longest, most challenging rock climbing routes in the world. And she did it in style. The route she tackled then, looking fear, typically takes 4 days to complete. Mrs. Warnick did it in one. Of course, it helped that the author and now sponsored athlete had one of the most accomplished rock climbers in the world to guide her. Her famous son, Alex Horner, the star of the 2018 Oscar-winning documentary Free Solo. The film chronicles her son's breathtaking journey to become a first person to climb an AR cap with no rope or safety equipment whatsoever. Her own effort, which did use ropes, was by far the most demanding thing she had ever done. Mrs. Warnick said. Reaching the summit of AR Captain in 2017, she became the oldest woman to make that ascent.
It's never too
late to climb that mountain. Deidre Wallenick, her son, Alex Honnold, who is one of the top rock climbers, ascended Yosemite's coveted climb, 70th birthday, by Tim Neville. In her 40s, Deidre Wallenick taught herself to swim. In her 50s, she took up running. Then, the 60s, she became a rock climber, and not just any rock climber. 4 years ago, at 66, his Warnick made a record-breaking ascent of Gilcott Yosemite National Park's granite monolith that has some of the longest, most challenging rock climbing in the world. And she did it in style. The route she tackled in, Rocking Fear,
takes 4 days
to complete. As Warnick in one.
Of course, it helped that
the author and the non-sponsored athlete had one of the most accomplished rock climbers in the world to guide her famous son, Alex Honnold, the star of the 2018 Oscar-winning documentary Free Solo. The film chronicles son's breathtaking journey to become the first person to climb all with no rope safety whatsoever. With all effort, did it by far the most demanding thing she had ever done. Ms. Wallace said. Reaching the summit 2017, she became the oldest woman to make that ascent. Consider a book pricing by Derek Service. I love having my own store, so I can think the way I think they should be. For example, I disagree with the euro pricing of books. If I buy a book in a format, it doesn't seem like I pay full price. Another format, it will be paying twice for the same content. Let's separate these two things. 1. Contents. The words in the 2. Delivery. The ways to get the words into a brain. Paper, audio, PDF, HTML, etc. What we really want is to buy the contents, not delivery. With so many different devices now, it seems fair that if you buy the contents of a book, it should include all formats delivery: EPUB, MP3, Kindle, M4B, PDF, HTML, or literal formats to make common the future. Today, we want to read Silent Butterfly. Tomorrow, you want to listen while you drive. In 10 years, you want to read it again by your new device. This should all be included by your book. I love this idea. It's almost perfect. It has just one problem. Paper costs money, so I can't for free. But following this philosophy is not right to charge full price for each paper book. It's that would mean people paid it for the content. So here's the solution I give up. Contents of my book, $15. Delivery of all digital forms, free. Paper just cover its cost, $4 each plus postage. I like this. It means you never pay for the contents twice. Considerate book price by Derek Service. I love having my own store, so I have things the way I think they should be. For example, I disagree with the euro pricing of books. If I buy a book in one format, it doesn't seem fair to pay full price to get in another format. That would be paying twice for the same content. Let's separate these two things. 1. Contents. The words in the 2. Delivery. The ways to get the words in their ring. Paper, audio, PDF, HTML, and etc. What we really want is to buy the contents, not delivery. With so many devices now, it seems fair that if you buy contents of a book, it should include all formats delivery: EPUB, MP3, Kindle, M4P, PDF, HTML, or whatever new format may come in the future. Today, you want to read silently. Tomorrow, you want to listen when you drive. And 10 years, you want to read it again by a new device. They should all include by a new book. I love this idea. So, it has just one problem. Paper costs money, so I can't for free. But following this philosophy, it's not right to charge full price for each paper book. That would mean paper paid for the contents. So here's the solution I give up. Contents of my book, $15. Delivery of all digital forms, free. Paper, just coverage cost, $4 each plus postage. I like this. It means you never pay for the contents twice. Considerate book pricing by Derek Silvers. I love having my own store, so I can make things the way I think they should be. For example, I disagree with the euro pricing of books. If I buy a book in one format, it doesn't seem fair to pay full price to get it in another format. That would be paying twice for the same content. Let's separate these two things. 1. Contents, the words in the book. 2. Delivery, the ways to get the words into your brain. Paper, audio, PDF, HTML, etc. What we really want is to buy the contents, not delivery. With so many different devices now, it seems fair that if you buy the contents of a book, it should include all formats of delivery: EPUB, MP3, Kindle, M4B, PDF, HTML, or whatever new formats may come in the future. Today you want to read silently by the fire. Tomorrow you want to listen while you drive. In 10 years, you want to read it again on your new device. This should all be included when you buy a book. I love this idea. It's almost perfect. It has just one problem. Paper costs money, so I can't just include it for free. But following this philosophy, it's not right to charge full price for each paper book, because that would mean paying repeatedly for the contents. So here's the solution I came up with. Contents of my books, $15. Delivery of all digital formats, free. Paper just covers its cost, $4 each plus postage. I like this. It means you never pay for the contents twice. Considerate book pricing by Derek Silvers. I love having my own store so I can make things the way I think they should be. For example, I disagree with the euro pricing of books. If I buy a book in format, it doesn't seem fair to pay full price to get in another format. That would be paying twice for the same content. Let's separate these two things. 1. Contents. The words in the book. 2. Delivery. The ways to get the words into your brain. Paper, audio, PDF, HTML, etc. What we really want is to buy the contents, not delivery. With so many different devices now, it seems fair that if you buy the contents of a book, you should include all formats of delivery: EPUB, MP3, Kindle, M4B, PDF, HTML, or whatever new formats may come in the future. Today, you want to read silently by the file. Tomorrow, you want to listen while you drive. In 10 years, you want to read it again on a new device. This should all be included when you buy a book. I love this idea. It's almost perfect. It has just one problem. Paper costs money, so I can't just include it for free. But following this philosophy, it's not right to charge full price for each paper book, because that would mean paying repeatedly for the contents. So here's the solution I came up with. Contents of my book, $15. Delivery of all digital formats, free. Paper, just cover its cost. $4 each plus postage. I like this. It means you never pay for the contents twice. Review Prisoner of the House of Windsor. Spencer. Review.评论文章，评论文章，然后才是复习温习，这个我熟悉的意思。Review Prisoner of the House Windsor. Visiting stars as an anguished anguished, rebellious Princess Diana. Rebellious, 叛乱的，反抗的。 叛乱的造反的反抗的。叛乱的反抗的。Spencer is a Christmas movie in which a big, dysfunctional family dysfunction功能失调的。Gathers at a holiday to feast. Feast 饱餐进行 Feast. Exchange gifts and engage in peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun. Peculiar. 独特的 peculiar 特的不寻常的 peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun. Meant 意味着 Spencer Review Prisoner of the House of Windsor. Kristen Stewart stars as an anguished, rebellious Princess Diana in Paolo Larry's Answer to the Crown by A.O. Scott. Spencer is a Christmas movie in which a big, dysfunctional family gathers at a holiday to feast, exchange gifts, and engage peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun. Spencer is a horror movie about a fragile woman held captive in a spooky mansion. Horror. 恐怖电影 horror horror oh oh horror movie. Spencer is a horror movie about a fragile woman. Fragile held captive. Captive. Held for captive. For captive. For captive. In a spoken fashion. You Nation. Tormented by sadistic monsters and 这么好。Tormented, sadistic by sadistic monsters， 虐待狂的、残酷成性的。sadistic, sadistic, sadistic， 残酷成性的。Monsters and treacherous miners， treacherous miner， 重沉弄散。怪兽剑找的重沉的。Minions， 弄散重沉。Minions， 弄散。 Spencer Review: Prisoner of the House of Windsor. Kristen Stewart starred as an anguished, rebellious Princess Diana in Pablo Larraín's Answer to the Crown by A. O. Scott. Spencer is a Christmas movie in which a big dysfunctional family gathers at a holiday to feast, exchange gifts, and engage in peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun. Big dysfunctional gathers. In which a big dysfunctional gathers at a holiday feast, exchange gifts, and engage in peculiar traditions meant to provide a bit of fun. Spencer is a horror movie about a fragile woman held captive in a spooky mansion, tormented by sadistic monsters and their treacherous minions. Spencer is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian cabal conspiring to crush the spirit of an independent minor rebel. Spencer is a love story, a melodrama of a maternal devotion, an early 19th fashion parade, and a very British baking show. The scones and parasites are organic. Spencer described its director, Paulo Larraín, as a fable from a true tragedy. Is all over the above and also a fact-inspired drama about Diana, Princess of Wales, played with grace by Kristen Stewart Diana, who died in a car crash in 1997, and whose maiden name gave Larraín's film its title. Is hardly an obscure figure. A global celebrity and a top-lead fixture her lifetime, she remains somehow irresistible.
Spencer review.
Prisoner of the House Windsor.
Kristen Stewart stars as an anguished, rebellious Princess Diana in Pablo Larraín's
Answer to the Crown
by A.O. Scott. Spencer is a Christmas movie in which a big dysfunctional family gathers
to feast, exchange gifts, and engage peculiar traditions when provide a bit of fun.
Spencer
is a horror movie about a fragile woman now captive is tormented by sadistic and treacherous minions.
Spencer is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable,
above,
conspiring to crush
the spirit of independent minor rival.
Spencer is a love story,
a melodrama of eternal devotion, an early 90s parade at a very British baking show.
The scones and pastries are
organic.
Spencer, described by director
Paulo Larry
as a fable from a mature tragedy,
is all of the above.
It's also a fact-inspired drama about Diana,
Princess of Wales,
played with
grace by Kristen Stewart.
Diana
died in a car crash in 1997, which is the main name of the Laurie's film title. It's hardly an obscure figure, a global celebrity capture in her lifetime. She remains somehow irresistible.
Spencer Review,
Prisoner of the House of Windsor.
Kristen Stewart
stars anguished and rebellious Diana, and Pablo Larraín's Spencer to the Crown
by
A.O. Scotten.
Spencer
is a Christmas movie in which a big, dysfunctional family gathers to feast, exchange gifts, and engage in peculiar traditions that mean to provide a bit of fun. Spencer is a horror movie by a fragile woman who have a spooky mansion, tormented by the sadistic.
Spencer
is a psychological thriller about a powerful, unaccountable authoritarian cabal conspiring to crush the spirit of an independent minor rebel.
Spencer
is a love story,
a melodrama,
of
an early
90s fashion parade and a very British baking show.
The scones and
pastries are organic.
Spencer, described by its director, Pablo Larraín, as a fable from a true tragedy, is all of the above.
It's also a fact-inspired drama about Diana, Princess of Wales, played with great grace by Christens. Diana, who died in a car crash in 1997, and its name gives the Lawrence film's title, is hardly an obscure figure, and a global celebrity in popular fictions in a lifetime. She remains somehow irresistible.
Seven Youths by Neil Stephenson.
The Age of the One Moon.
The moon blew up, and
for no apparent reason.
It was waxing.
The
time was
050312 UTC. Later, it's designated A plus 0.0.0, or simply 0.
An
amateur astronomer, first person honor to realize something have euro. Moments earlier, he noticed the blur flourishing in the sunny radar gamma near the moon equator. He assumed that's Aloud, or by media streak. He pulled out his phone and blocked the event. Difficult thumbs. Re-armed, was clear. As fast as they could, this comes himself.
Other astronomers
assumed the same dust cloud might be doing it alright, but supposing he could face it down faster, he would be the first pointed out. The fame would be his. If the meteorite, visible crater, perhaps it would bear his name. His name would have got it. By the time he got his phone out of his pocket, his crater no longer existed, nor did the moon. Seven Years by Neil Stephenson. The Age of the Moon. one moon. The moon blew up without no apparent reason. It was waxing for 1 day short. The time was 050012 UTC. Later, it would be designated A plus 0.0.0, or simply 0. An amateur astronomer Utah was the first person in order to realize that something unusual was happening. Moments earlier, he noticed a blood flourishing vicinity of the rim near the moon's equator. He assumed the dust cloud by a meteor strike. He pulled out his phone and blogged the event, moving his stiff word high on the mountain, cold as fast as they could to secure the climb himself. Other astronomers soon pointed the telescope at the same dust cloud. Might be doing it, but supposing it was not enough, he would be the first to point out. The fame would be his. If the meteorite, the visible crater, perhaps bears his name. His name was forgotten by the time he got his phone. Now his crater no longer existed, nor did the moon. Seven Eves by Neil Stevenson. The age of the one moon. The moon blew up without warning and for no apparent reason. It was waxing, only 1 day short of full. The time was 5050312 UTC. Later, it would be designated A plus 0.0.0, or simply 0. An amateur astronomer in Utah was the first person on Earth to realize that something unusual was happening. Moments earlier, he had noticed a blood flourishing in the vicinity of the Renina Gamma Formation, near the moon's equator. He assumed it was a dust cloud thrown up by a meteor strike. He pulled out his phone and blogged the event, moving his stiff thumbs. For he was high on the mountain and the air was as cool as it was clear, as fast as he could to secure the claim to himself. Other astronomers would soon be pointing their telescope at the same dust cloud, might be doing it already. But supposing he could move his thumbs fast enough, he would be the first to point it out. The fame would be his if the meteorite left behind a visible crater. Perhaps it would even bear his name. His name was forgotten. By the time he had gotten his phone out of his pocket, his crater no longer existed, nor did the moon. The age of the one moon. The moon blew up without warning and for no apparent reason. It was waxing, only 1 day short of full. The time was 050312 UTC. Later, it would be designated A plus 0.0, or simply 0. An amateur astronomer in Utah was the first person on Earth to realize that something unusual was happening. Moments earlier, he had noticed a blood flourishing in the vicinity of the Renina Gamma Formation, near the moon's equator. He assumed it was a dust cloud thrown up by a meteor strike. He pulled out his phone and blogged the event, moving his stiff thumbs. For he was high on the mountain and the air was as cold as it was as fast as he could to secure the claim to himself. Other astronomers would soon be pointing the telescope at the same dust cloud, might be doing it already. But supposing he could move his thumbs fast enough, he would be the first to point it out. The full fame would be his if the meteorite left behind a visible crater. Perhaps it would even bear his name. His name was forgotten. By the time he got his phone out of his pocket, his crater no longer existed, nor did the moon. What we don't do, except Warren Buffett's past, the Berkshire Hathaway 2010 report. Long ago, Charlie laid out a strong ambition. All I want to know is where I put it down, so I never go there. That would be wisdom with the Great Depression and mathematician, McCausland, invert, always invert, as aid to solve the problems. I can report as well an inversion approach for a less lofty level. Seeing a country's on the universe, and your quicker recovery of car, house, and wife. Here are a few how we apply Berkshire.
Charlie and I avoid businesses whose futures we can't evaluate, no matter how exciting their products may be. In the past, it required no brilliance for people to foresee the fabulous growth that awaited such industries as autos in 1910, aircraft in 1930, and television sets in 1950. But the future then also included competitive dynamics that would decimate almost all of the companies entering those industries. Even the survivors tended to come away bleeding. Just because Charlie and I can completely see dramatic growth
or demonstrate, it not mean we judge and profit margins or returns of capital as a host of competitors battle with promises. At Berkshire, businesses profit picture for decades to come the same reasonable ridiculous, even then we'll make plenty of mistakes. What we don't do, except Warren Buffett's letter and count Berkshire Hathaway's 2010 annual award. Long ago, Charlie laid out his strong ambition. All I want to know is where I'm putting it, so I never go to. That would be with a bus by Jolly, a Great Depression mathematician, a console, invert, always invert, as an aid to difficult problems. I can report this approach on a less lofty level. Seeing a country's on the universe, and you'll quickly recover your car, house, and wife. Here are a few examples of how we apply Charlie's stake at Berkshire. Charlie and I avoid businesses whose futures we can't evaluate, exciting products may be. In the past, it required them to foresee the weighted such as autos, and 1910 aircraft, 1930 television sets, and 1950. But the future then also included a competitive dynamic decimate all companies entering. Even the survivors tended to come away bleeding. Just because Charlie and I can clearly see dramatic growth in industry does not mean we can judge what its profit margins and returns on capital as a host of competitors battle for surprise. At Berkshire, we will stick with the businesses profit for decades to come. Seems reasonable. Even then, plenty of mistakes. What we don't do. What we don't do. Excerpted from Warren Buffett's letter attached to Berkshire Hathaway's 2010 annual report. Long ago, Charlie laid out his strongest ambition. All I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there. That bit of wisdom was inspired by Jacobi, the great Prussian mathematician who counseled, always invert, as an aid to solving difficult problems. I can report as well that this inversion approach works on a less lofty level. Sing a country song in reverse and you will quickly recover your car, house, and wife. Here are a few examples of how we apply Charlie's thinking at Berkshire. Charlie and I avoid businesses whose futures can't evaluate, no matter how exciting their products may be. In the past, it required no brilliance for people to foresee the fabulous growth that awaited such industries as autos in 1910, aircrafts in 1930, and television sets in 1950. But the future then also included competitive dynamics that would decimate almost all the companies into those interests. Even the survivors tend to come away bleeding. Just because Charlie and I clearly see dramatic growth ahead for the industry does not mean we can judge what is profit margins and the returns on capital. We view it as a host of competitive battle for supremacy. At Berkshire, I stick with business with profit picture decade to come seem reasonably predictable. We will make plenty of mistakes. What we don't do. Excerpted from Warren Buffett's letter attached to Berkshire Hathaway's 2010 annual report. Long ago, Charlie and I out his strongest ambition. All I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there. That bit of wisdom was inspired by Jacobi, the great Prussian mathematician who counseled, always invert, as an aid to solving difficult problems. I can report as well that this inversion approach works on a less lofty level. Sing a country song in reverse, and you will quickly recover your car, house, and wife. Here are a few examples of how we apply Charlie's thinking at Berkshire. Charlie and I avoid businesses whose future we can't evaluate, no matter how exciting their products may be. In the past, it required no brilliance for people to foresee the fabulous growth that awaited such industries as autos in 1910, aircraft in 1930, and television sets in 1950. But the future then also included competitive dynamics that would decimate almost all of the companies entering those industries. Even the survivors tend to come away bleeding. Just because Charlie and I can clearly see dramatic growth ahead for an industry does not mean we can judge what its profit margins and returns on capital will be as a host of competitors battle for supremacy. At Berkshire, we will stick with businesses whose profit picture for decades to come seem reasonably predictable. Even then, we will make plenty of mistakes. See you.